All right, let's dive into the international firestorm that's erupted around X's AI chatbot, Grok. This is a story that really gets to the heart of a huge debate. Where do we draw the line between demands for security and the defense of free expression?
You know, artificial intelligence is moving so fast, it's hard to keep up. But the thing is, this controversy around Grok makes one thing crystal clear. Even the most futuristic tech can spark some of the oldest arguments we've ever had about safety, freedom, and control. So, here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll look at how this AI chatbot managed to cause a global firestorm. Then we'll dig into the calls for security from governments, and right after, the platform's defense of freedom. We'll also examine X's response, which, well, it came under a lot of fire. And finally, we'll explore why this whole thing might just be the defining dilemma for the entire AI industry.
So where did this all begin? How did one AI tool create such an uproar? It really all comes down to one specific, very powerful feature.
Okay, so let's meet the AI at the center of this, Grok. It's a chatbot that's built right into X. And the key feature we're talking about is its ability to create images using deepfake technology. We're talking about a method that can realistically alter or even completely fabricate photos and videos.
And here's where the problem started. Users began to weaponize Grok, using it to create and share explicit images of people without their consent. This wasn't just a few isolated cases. It blew up into a massive crisis. And suddenly, X found itself in the global hot seat, facing immense pressure from governments and safety advocates all over the world. And that pressure? It was fast and it was serious. Let's look at the first side of this debate, this urgent, worldwide call for security and regulation. I mean, listen to this. This is a direct and pretty forceful statement from the UK Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer. He's essentially saying X needs to get this under control, now. And that phrase, "no options should be off the table," was a clear signal that every possible action, even the most severe, should be considered. And this wasn't just happening in the UK. The concern went global, fast. Indonesia actually became the first country to take direct action. They banned Grok completely, at least temporarily. Their digital minister didn't mince words, calling the deepfakes a serious violation of human rights. But then, the alarm bells got even louder. The Internet Watch Foundation reported something truly horrifying, that criminals were now using the tool to generate child sexual abuse material.
But while governments were demanding a crackdown, X and its owner, Elon Musk, were framing this whole issue in a completely different way. For them, this was about freedom of expression.
So, is this really just about safety? Well, from their perspective, the answer is a hard no. They argue that behind all these calls for safety, there's another agenda at play, a push for censorship and more control over what people can say and create online. And this quote from Elon Musk, it really gets to the heart of their entire defense. His position is, look, creating harmful images isn't some new phenomenon. He's arguing that Grok is just the latest tool being used for an old problem, and that it's being unfairly singled out.
So you've got this complete clash of perspectives. On one side, you have critics saying Grok is a dangerous new capability that's out of control, but on the other side, you have Musk's defense saying, no, this is just an excuse for censorship. These kinds of tools have been around for years, and this is really an attack on free expression.
So, facing all this intense international pressure, X had to do something. But the action they took, it really didn't do much to calm things down.
The sequence of events here is pretty straightforward. First, the pressure from governments and safety groups just became overwhelming, so X made a change. They took Grok's image editing features and put them behind a paywall, making them available only to paying subscribers.
So, how did the UK government react to that? Well, they were not impressed. Downing Street called the move insulting, basically arguing that making people pay for the feature doesn't solve the problem at all, it just means bad actors now have to pay for access to the tool.
And that's when the threats really ramped up. The UK's tech minister, Liz Kendall, put out a very stark warning. If X doesn't comply with UK safety laws, the country's regulator, Ofcom, has the power to block the entire platform in the UK.
And a block isn't even the only threat on the table. The UK's Online Safety Act gives that same regulator the authority to fine X up to 10% of its global revenue. We're talking about a penalty that could potentially run into the billions. That just shows you how seriously they're taking this.
Okay, so let's take a step back here, because when you zoom out, it's pretty clear that Grok controversy is way more than just a story about one chatbot. It feels like a preview of one of the biggest challenges of our time.
Ultimately, what this whole episode really exposes is the central question of the AI era. This technology allows for creation at a speed and a scale and a level of realism we have never seen before.
So where on earth do we draw the line to prevent it from being dangerously misused? That's the debate that's happening right now all over the world.
And that leads us to the final, really crucial question. In this inevitable fight between innovation and regulation, who gets to decide the future of AI? Is it the creators who are pushing the boundaries of what's possible, or is it the governments who are supposed to protect their citizens? This controversy doesn't give us an easy answer, but it definitely forces all of us to ask the question.